If you guys have the Facebook stream up, you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it in the Discord.
Dude is weird.
I can't hear that on Discord. Let me share the Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. We got ASAP Rock on the walk-up music today.
Can't hear it, but I'm just nodding my head like I can.
Oh, that was actually Wu-Tang, but ASAP Rock was in it. Welcome to episode 5 of the Out of Pocket podcast. We got the boys, Kyle Duster, Trevor Roberts, Matthew Zweig here, but we got a special guest this week. First one ever on the pod. What an honor. With 7-time national PBA Tour titleist, 28-time regional titleist, Elias Cup winner and MVP. Not a big deal. And one of the absolute funniest guys on tour. He was Richie Allen when I first saw him bowl. His name now goes by Dick Allen, also known as Dick. So, welcome. Thank you for joining us. How you doing today?
Bravo, bravo. Well done. That's a nice entrance. I like that. I'm doing all right today. I played some golf today. Didn't have to hang out with the kiddos. Good day today.
What'd you shoot?
Man, we played some course. I never played there before, so we're going to start playing there a little more. I just went out to get a little lay of the land. Greens were quick, nice and receptive. Depth perception was way off the first try, so we'll be going back out. Went out with a couple buddies of mine.
There you go. So what'd you shoot? You never gave us an answer.
We didn't keep score.
Oh, alright, yeah. I gotcha.
His kid plays, and his kid hits it a mile. And Ryan just got new clubs, so he was playing around with him, and Wayne joined us like on the 6th hole. So, like I said, I was out there to get the lay of the land on that course.
You were trying to test the topography before you went out.
I played 2-ball a lot today, so.
Breakfast ball every time you hit.
Pretty much.
That's sick. What about you guys, Matt, Trevor? Tell us about your day today so far.
Been a pretty relaxing day so far. I haven't done too much. Apparently, I'm heading a practice tonight, which I didn't know about. So I guess I got to go out and go bowling later. But not too much else. Been pretty relaxed. Prepping for a couple big tournaments coming up.
For sure, Trevor.
So you're prepping for tournaments. We're prepping for hurricanes. All our tournaments were freaking canceled down here. We had a regional this weekend that got canceled, actually. So.
The RPI one, right? In Oviedo?
Yeah, the RPI.
Yeah. Well, you got enough points, though. You're leading the conference. Or you're leading the...
Yeah, I'm good.
Dick, you were going to bowl this weekend, right?
Yeah, it was going to be number 29, but they canceled it.
That's why they knew, so they had to stop it. They had to send the Hurricanes out to make sure you couldn't bowl.
It's all right. It's about the only thing that can stop me besides age right now. Age, hurricanes, traffic, breakfast, nap. There's a lot of things that stop me lately.
How long until they ban the pinky hole, though? They say the pinky hole's it's an advantage. So they say you can't do it.
As soon as I win. Hey, dude, you want to say hi? That's what I thought. Then back up.
I mean, honestly, like, we thought you were gonna win the Players Championship. It was not this year, but last year. Like, you made a sick run at it. Tell us a little bit about that, like, all the way, because it was a long tournament. It was kind of 2 tournaments in one. It was a regional leading up to, like, the national major.
Yeah, it was that was a weird time. I was messing around with my grips. I didn't have an it grip at the time. I was using slugs, and man, I was having hard time making spares the first 2 days of the tournament, and then turned the strike ball on and made up for some of those, and got to the show, and then man, we got to the show and I couldn't believe how scoreable they were. Like, man, this is gonna be a strike fest. I'm gonna be lucky to get out of the first match. and I usually don't like them when they're high scoring like that. And man, just caught some feel that day, and a little 1082 action on them, and made a bunch of good shots. Stayed ahead of the move, and then when we got to the big show, they were a little tighter. They were a little flatter. And night, baby girl. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. And this is Bella. We won the. Tell them what's up, champ. We won the summer league together. She
Let's
came
go.
in with a whopping. What? She was bringing in about 185 pins a game on the handicap scale for us. So wasn't fair at all.
It sounds like Bella's got a bright future ahead of her in this sport.
I just got my 300 series.
Let's go.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Got our first 300 series. So the this is what my practice consists of lately. So yeah, we both got one of these. I have mine somewhere. I think mine's in the game room.
Yeah, this was in
So
game.
yeah, that's mine. Yours is upstairs. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So this one's mine. Get
Nice.
yourself.
Hey,
so-
is that the only trophy you've won this year?
It is. This is the only trophy I've won this year. I needed help from my daughter, and my wife is leading the household in 300 games. So,
Oh man. That's
yep,
rough.
I'm barely holding on to high average right now. So Sarah's averaging like 223 or something on Monday nights, and I'm only at 25. So,
Tough
yeah.
house
But
show.
anyway, on the big show, they were, like I said, they were a little tighter, and the competition was, I mean, obviously it was equally as tough. I mean, you got 25 guys making the show. You know, whoever wins any of those shows is going to be a tough competitor. So, oh man, when you're bowling for that much money, things tend to move a little differently and feel a little differently, and time moves a little differently. So, you know, it's just important to, when you get in those situations, to just slow down, do your normal thing. Whatever's happening around you is happening around you. You got no control over it, just like 100% of every other time in your life. So it's hard to compartmentalize some things when you get to the TV show. And it was a good run, man. The 710 sucked. I missed a move and threw one bad shot. So, and there she went, just like that. So, yeah.
I mean, I gotta bring something up. If you're watching the Facebook stream right now, I'm gonna play it for the stream, the podcast. It's a little. This is probably a big turning point in the event. Would you say?
PBA, we got Dick Allen versus
Tom Smallwood,
Ricky
match
Smallwood.
2,
You
the
combine
PBA
them
Players
together, and
Championship.
We're going to the fifth
Yeah,
frame.
you get a
They're
little
all tied
famous
up.
or
They can
infamous
get
maybe from this
260
one.
Yeah,
points
yeah,
if they
definitely
want. They're
infamous
sitting
there.
on strikes. Dick Allen
So, man, those
Uh-oh.
things.
leaves one
I've told people before, when you screw them on tight all the way, they don't. You can't get anything out of them. And you know, you got to loosen it up just a little bit. But there aren't a whole lot of there's not a lot of thread on there. A lot of threading. The metal threading that you screw on, there's only like 3 or 4 threads. There's not a lot. And man, I guess it just kept coming loose because I've been doing that for the last hour and a half, just picking it up, drinking it, picking it up and drinking it. And I guess it just got loose enough. And that thing just slipped right off, and I felt so bad. I still feel bad to this day. Like, that's just one of those things. It's like, well, that happened.
If it makes you feel any better, that's one of my worst fears, honestly. I mean, just you watch, look at that, everywhere. Not only is it in the bowler's area, it's rolling up onto the approach. Like, nightmare. Nightmare scenario for everyone.
I'm glad it happened to me, and I'm glad it didn't happen to anybody.
You were
I'm
featured
sure.
on John Boy on YouTube on that. Do you watch John Boy beforehand? Know that you were featured on that?
Oh yeah.
Matt,
Yeah, the only reason I reached out and contacted him on Twitter. I was like, yo, I mean, I don't know if y'all want to do this for the thing y'all do on Fridays or not, but you know, because they were doing different sports on Fridays for a while, I
Right.
think. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, man, here's a contender if y'all want it. So
That's sick.
I thought it
Yeah.
was a pretty
Yeah,
good breakdown.
if you look at my Twitter now, it says once featured in a John Boy video. Yeah, taking that cheese all the way to the bank.
Matt, brother. That's
Yeah,
that. I was playing the John Boy video on the live stream.
Yeah,
The-
I figured.
The meme, of course, but yeah, no, it's hell of a run, hell of a tournament.
Yeah, it was a good time. Got to try and get there again. That's all you can do.
You've gotten there quite a few times, man. You got some good stories to talk about from some TV shows. I feel like every time you get on TV, you make it entertaining one way or another, to put it lightly.
It's a fun place to be. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I've
Definitely a fun
always
place.
wondered. I think from watching you on TV, you've always been one to find the levity in things, and I think a lot of guys when they make it to TV, either veterans or first timers, they're very serious, and understandably, there's pretty high stakes. How do you find a way to, still keep a smile on your face, have some fun on the show, and just kind of do what you're doing when the stakes are so high?
Man, well, I mean, if you go back and you watch, some of the few shows that I made early in my career, I mean, it was, I was pretty no nonsense, serious, wanting to win, wanting to do the deal, like, and I think once you get there enough times, you kind of, I don't know, it just feels more natural. You know what I'm saying? So like, if Bill's a good one too. Like if you go back and you watch Bill throughout his career, you can see how he was always kind of like complaining on the bad breaks, and then like mad and kind of angry. And now he kind of sighs and kind of, like you said, he finds the levity in it, and he's a lot more easygoing. So like I think once you get there enough, you just kind of sit back and you're like, hey, that's gonna happen, man. Like we bowled a regional, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I bowled 300 the first game of the title match, and then I had to bowl Verity, and I beat her, and then the next match I'm bowling some no-name rookie punk. I've seen him like once or twice, and like literally I threw one bad shot, I got no carry, I missed the move, and of course all weekend he's just matched up, just throwing it anywhere he wants. And
Yeah, who is
I
that
can't-
you're talking about?
I
Whoa.
couldn't beat that weekend. So you're happy for your competitor. I don't even know if the guy still bowls anymore, but you're happy for your competitor, and you hope that they succeed, and you hope that they move on and they get better. And you look back and you're like, man, I lost, but man, it was a fun time. So, but yeah, you get there enough, and you start being a little more easygoing about things, especially when they don't go your way.
Because you're like, oh, fuck it. Like, I've been here before and I'll get here again, most likely. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, you just try and think how you can not let something like that happen the next time.
It makes sense.
Love that.
So, like, the next time I knew Trevor was going to win, I just withdrew.
That is true.
Saved yourself the troubles.
Mm-hmm.
Duster, do we have anything going on Facebook right now on the comments?
No comments right now. We do have 10 people on the live listening right now, though. Sean
If I
Wood
leave
just
the
dropped
tab
in.
on
He
my
said great guest. Big fan of Phil Doutright. There's a lot of fans of Phil Doutright. If
Yeah.
is it an alter ego, like a different identity, or is it just like a incognito thing? Like,
So, like, I was on Facebook for a while, and I was off. And then when I wanted to get back on, I didn't want anybody to know who I was for a little bit. And, like, you guys have been on the truck, and you guys have seen the sheet above where you fill out the sheets, and it says filled out right, because
Yeah.
the sheet's filled out right. So, I just kind of stole that. I was like, if somebody sees that and gets it, they'll at least know that I'm a tour player. And I don't know, it took maybe like 2 or 3 months before I gave away enough information that people were like, it's Dick Allen. So then I was like, whatever. I'm too old to mess around with it anymore. So
That's incredible.
That's
I don't
legendary.
think anybody actually knows the reason why the name was like that, but
I've told somebody somewhere along the line. So I got water in my ear. Took a shower.
Yeah.
Man, before I got out, I got water in there.
Didn't hit it with a Q-tip before.
You know those things are illegal in Europe?
Q-tips?
Yeah.
Do you know the reasoning?
It pushes water in your ear.
I have no idea why. I didn't really look. I just saw the headline, and I didn't even know if it was clickbait or not. So I'm just spreading it around now. So
It's true. It's true.
That's how the internet works, right? If you don't read the article, then there's no reason to not believe it.
that's
who reads
correct.
the article these days? You get the
That's
headline
correct.
and move on. Well, it's time to click.
Yep. By the way, it's a good time for me to tell you that our newest release is longer and hooks harder than anything we've ever made before.
Are you talking about the Sky
No
Raptor?
kidding.
Or are you just being a troll right now? This is being
I'm just being a
hashtag
troll.
ad. Hashtag ad.
Clickbait ad.
Yeah. No, so not only does it clear the fronts with ease, but it also hooks in the mid lane with a
Rolls
strong.
heavy in the mid-lane.
Rolls heavy in the mid lane, strong down lane motion. Hits like a
Yeah.
Mack truck. But not just any Mack truck. It's a Mack truck filled with smaller Mack trucks
Filled with-
also.
Backtrack.
With ball bearings. It carries ball bearings in a little one.
Right.
Speaking of bowling balls, I heard a rumor that you had signed your first contract actually when you were pretty young. You were 19, I had heard, or you had a contract or something of the sort. I was told there was a story involved, but nothing more.
Yeah. So I was I went out to Syracuse for ABCs and for nationals, and I met Richie Sposato there. He came up to me after I got done. He's like, "Man, you're doing great," and I was like, "Oh, thanks." I had no idea who he was. He was like, "Can I send you some balls? Sign a contract?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I guess. Why not? You know, who doesn't like free balls, right?" I'm figuring, what's wrong with signing for a year and then getting my name out there? And I had like 3 cases of balls. I had like all the patches because he knew I was getting my card too. So he knew I was about to be a member, and I guess he had heard of me before. I was like, okay, that's cool. And yeah, I had all these balls in front of me, and I called Swanson because I won a team challenge with Swanson, and I was friends with Swanson. And I was like, "Hey man, you know I'm getting my card," and I was like, "Is this worth it for me to sign?" You know, and I kind of talked to him about the contract and everything. He was like, "I mean, it seems pretty standard." And I was like, "Okay, is that good or bad?" He was like, "Well, do you want to throw shitty balls?" And I was like, "I mean, are they not good?" He's like, "Dude, those balls are not good." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he called Ebonite and pulled some strings, I guess, and I had to ship all those other balls back to Sposato, and then I had a whole bunch of new balls in front of me after that, and I was like, all right, whatever, and just went there we're here from there now, so yeah, a long time ago, man. That was fun times. I'll never forget sitting in the living room in Tulsa and or Oklahoma City. Sitting in the living room in Oklahoma City and just looking at all these balls like, man, this is what it's about. And then I sent them all back. And then I got more when the Ebonite balls came. I got like 5 cases. I was like, whoa. So yeah, that's fun times.
I mean, that lane 1 deal kind of sounds like the story with Motive and Brett. No, if what Brett posted was correct, where he just hits you up, he's like, "Hey, Dick, like
Yeah.
I wanna sign you. Like, let's get lunch or something." And you're like, "Hold the lunch,
Yep.
I'm on."
Yep. Because I was I had just left Ebonite, so I was out of there. And yeah, went for broke. Wasn't the first time I've gone for broke though, because I signed with Circle.
Circle.
Circle and Pyramid were the same company? Yes or
Were
no?
they really?
I'm not
I
sure.
have no idea.
Oh.
I have no idea.
I thought it was like a bowlingball.com thing.
I don't know, but they're different shapes completely.
No, I
So-
think Pyramid
Is it more like a square than a circle?
No, because the pyramid's a triangle, dude, and the circle's a circle.
Yeah, the shapes on the lane are
Matt,
pretty much
Matt
the
doesn't
same.
get it, dude. Fuck.
That's awesome.
Oh,
wait, I have a question. Dick, have you ever thrown Storm?
I was on Storm staff.
Okay. How long?
From like August of 2002 to like beginning of like 2004.
Okay.
So I got like the LRGs and the HRGs and some of the traumas and I had that double agent. What was the orange and red brown agent?
That was
I
the
had
double agent.
Yeah, I had that thing.
The solid. It was a
Yeah.
poop looking ball.
Yeah,
Looked like a turd.
yeah.
Was the X Factor before that time?
Hmm?
The X Factor, was that before that time?
Yeah, the X
That
Factor was
was-
the line before, right?
I got 3 different X Factors before I left. Yeah. So I think the last one I got was like purple and red and blue maybe. It looked like an Odyssey.
I think that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Was it the double X?
X Factor Deuce.
Yeah, the X2.
Yeah, the X Factor Deuce. That one, and I had that pearl one. Not the first one was pearl, but the green and silver pearl one.
The
that smelled like
reloaded.
apple pie.
It was like the X Factor reloaded, right?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. But yeah, the OG one was legit. But yeah, I was there at a time where balls were weird. Not like they were nowadays at all. So
Right.
What would you say is the most different? Because we all of us are 20 somethings. We were throwing our house balls around that time. So what would you say is
Oh,
that big
God.
difference?
I mean, I haven't thrown another company's ball in over 10 years, but from the looks of it, I mean, their stuff was always clean even when I was around, but they were doing more stuff. It seems like with balls that were trying to not be so sideways, and it wasn't a good time period.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that was the best way I can really put it.
Yeah, makes sense. While we got a second, we do have some activity in the chat. We have a message from Gregory Thompson Jr. He says, "Hi Dick!" Exclamation point. Miss you with a little kissy face. He's sending you a kiss.
Hey man, I miss him too. Every time I see the white Greg Thompson on my YouTube, I think of Greg Thompson. Nathan Hurd comedy. Every time I see Nathan Hurd, I think of my boy GT.
I mean, maybe if GT would come out and bowl some national stops, he could come see you.
I mean, it's good enough too.
Yeah, agreed. General consensus. I think everyone agrees.
Yeah.
We do have another question. Actually, he asked 2 questions from Michael Barnett, my homie from League on Monday nights at Del Rio Lanes. Dick, what is your favorite ball from the 90s or just your favorite ball of all time? Pulling out the thinking cap for this one. Go deep into the memory vault.
So, favorite ball to throw from the 90s was probably those OG beasts, the ones that had 6 teeth on them, the good ones. When you get your hands on them, I mean, that's like my shock back then. I carried like 4 or 5 beasts around back in the day. But I love the Piranha Sea, the blue one. Like, so from the 90s, like those two maybe, the Beast and the Blue Piranha Sea. My favorite ball of all time, the Perfect Piece.
By Circle?
No. It was by Award Scores Unlimited. It was like this.
What the heck?
Like this cyan blue color, and it was just one solid blue, like baby blue cyan. It was dope ass blue, and it had pink lettering, and it had a diamond. It had a diamond shape on the side, and it was what happened to Coolio? Something on my news feed came up. Something happened with Coolio.
Fuck, we have a news though here, real quick.
Let me check.
Breaking news. Breaking
Yeah, we need
news.
some-
Coolio died.
Yo.
Yo, what? Coolio died. That sucks, man. 59 years old. Out. So,
Fuck, man.
but the Perfect Piece, it had
RIP.
it had pink lettering, and it was a 10-sided diamond weight block.
So they use the old
Not-
Lane 1 for.
It wasn't an 8-sided like Lane 1. It was a 10-sided one, and it was called the Perfect Piece. And I just remember throwing that thing and watching that bitch go sideways in Kansas City. Man, that was a fun ball to throw.
Okay,
So-
but I think you were fooled because what ball doesn't go sideways in Kansas City? The back ends are
Yeah.
so crispy clean there.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably why I was throwing a beast. The Code Red was always a good one. The original Code Red. I like the Nuke a lot.
How about
The
what's your favorite motive ball of all time?
I mean, it's probably the Shock. I mean, that piece is so good. I mean, I've never drilled so many of one ball.
Right, and it's just been around for so long.
Yeah, we're approaching 100.
Jesus.
Yeah, we actually
Yeah.
talked about that at the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
You're like,
I've got to
well,
be somewhere between 75 and 90, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The most of a ball.
was like 8. That's
Yeah.
insane.
I was gonna say the most of a ball I've ever drilled is I'm about to drill my 6th pitch black, and that's about. I don't drill very many repeats, even when I was on
I'm at,
staff.
like 6 and 7. Phase 2, pitch black, probably my 2 highest ones. 7 maybe, most.
I drilled the Dream On the most out of anything. That ball is too good.
How many though? 6 or 7?
Probably
5. He's soft.
You figure that ball's been around for about 8 tour seasons. Drilling for the regionals and whatever grip changes I've decided to go through, and then when I settle on a grip change, you gotta have a shock in there.
Got to drill
too.
2 new shocks.
And of course, World Series every year. You gotta have 2 for the World Series. So like, oh yeah, we're getting up there.
wow. If they ain't drilling, you ain't winning.
That is true.
There's a reason why the truck is so busy after practice session.
Yeah. Unless it's urethane week, then then it's whatever.
Then you're showing up next week.
Yeah, then it's like I ain't drilling nothing this week.
I feel like
That's a bit out of pocket.
Yeah.
Speaking of out of pocket, so when we have more like regular guests, this is kind of like a little bit of a segment that we want to do. One of the most out of pocket things you've ever seen at a bowling alley. But before we get your answer, I'm gonna reference another clip. I'm gonna pull it up on the Facebook stream again, real quick, because I just watched this for the first time. Maybe I just blacked out when I saw it the first time, but It was
So is Dick gonna be able to see it on his screen?
He might have to pull up
Um,
Facebook if he can.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
near a
fine.
computer.
So it's when you threw it off the opposite foot against Chris at the playoffs. That the teaser video that we gave yesterday. It's from this video for him to move on.
Yeah, that video that we posted, that was.
So throwing it off the wrong foot's out of pocket.
Easily one of the most out of pocket things that I've ever seen.
All right.
It was toxic because it's like a mental thing. I see that in esports all the time. It's like a teabag or something, or like you shoot their body after you get the kill. Like it's just so disrespectful that you have to respect it. And I know that they're gonna see when they watch the video. Chris is fuming, but I know he respects it a little bit too.
Yeah, so was that a little bit of gamesmanship, or you were just like, alright, I'm just gonna throw it off the wrong foot?
All right. So the month before, 'cause we had to wait a month for that show. I had to bowl against Jurek, and Barnes is bowling against Belmo, I think, and I don't remember who Randy was bowling against. But we were all sitting there warming up, and Barnes is like doing his tie pace spinner, and somebody else was doing something else, and I started bowling off the wrong foot. And Barnes looked at me. He was like, if you got the match locked up on TV, you don't have a hair on your ass to do it. You won't do it. And I got the mark in the 10th to beat Jurek. And I was sitting there and I was like, man, and Barnes had just walked onto set because they're getting ready to come on and bowl their match after us. And I saw him, right? And I looked down at my foot and I looked back at him and I just put my head down and I was like, nah, man, I can't do that to Jack. I'd feel terrible. I like Jack a whole lot. So I just went up there and I finished. And yeah, we got to that match with Chris after we both, after Randy got knocked out, and yeah, after I got that strike, I was like, well, I can do it now, I guess. So we did it. That's about how that story goes.
Amazing.
That was the day that I proved I had hair on my ass.
That top five moment of any sport I've ever seen, not just bowling. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Gamesmanship or not, that was phenomenal and definitely out of pocket. So
the headband was out of pocket.
yeah, it's Trevor.
I had never, ever, ever worn a headband, ever, bowling. And I had made the show a couple weeks before in, was it Medford? Yeah, Medford. And, Medford was only my second show. And I was like, I didn't know what to think. I couldn't remember anything. And, it was so hot. It was so hot. I didn't remember it being that hot in Dallas. And I was like, okay. And I asked them about it. And they were like, oh, no, we've got new lights since then. And they're hot as hell. And I was like, yeah, no wonder. Holy crap. So I just remember being, like, drenched with sweat when I got done. Like, I couldn't dry off. It was all hot. And, yeah, so in Phoenix, yeah, where we're doing intro, I bowled the entire practice session because I didn't know what the PBA was going to say. I didn't even ask them. It was like, it's hot, and I don't want sweat rolling down my eyes again like I did 2 weeks ago. So they started calling out names, and when they started calling out names and they started doing like the big pump up for everybody to run out of the back, I looked at everybody and I was like, well, boys, I hope you don't get sweat in your eyes because I'm not. And I put that thing on out of my pocket after they yelled my name, and I ran out there and I was doing the thing. And I don't care what like I said, I didn't even ask the PBA. I was like, I'm wearing it. So
Was
that's
that,
one of those times where you just do it and you ask for forgiveness later.
100%.
Yeah.
that was at AMF Christown, right?
Yep. And then the next time I wore it, I shot 150, and I was like, "It's headband."
Did the PBA say anything?
No, I wasn't allowed to wear it at regionals for a little while. Like when we bowled down in Florida, and we bowled at one point, I put it on, and Harry told me to take it off, and we had an argument about it. And I was like, "So you're telling me that guys can wear sunglasses and guys can wear wristbands, and I can't wear this headband?" I said, "All three of them." I said, "Out of the three, only one of them doesn't enhance your game. Besides, all three of them give you a funny tan line, but only one of them doesn't enhance your game. I'm just trying to keep sweat on my eyes, Harry." And yeah, we went round and round. So then, like the next tournament, Harry was like, "All right, you can wear it if you want to." And I was like, "No, I'm all right. The AC is good in here."
You didn't care about the headband. You just cared about winning.
Yep.
So sick.
So, yeah, that's what it's always about, right? I mean, do what you can to help yourself in the moment and take advantage of what you can, and hopefully it works out in your favor.
Right. Definitely. I mean, I think Matt chuckled a little bit when you referenced the headband because I've worn a headband once before when I was bowling too.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
I finished second. I wasn't just wearing the headband though. I'm not gonna pull up the clip for this episode. We'll save it for a later time since again we have a lot of time.
Morongo?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Morongo. It was Fountain. I was also wearing a skirt along with the headband.
Yeah.
Because I lost a bet, but to be honest, the first time I lost a bet, I actually lost the bet, and then this was the second time I had done it, and I kind of lost the bet on purpose because the skirt was really comfortable. We bowled a JBT, went back when we were all dumb junior kids. I was like 15, 16 probably. Maybe, I know, I might have been like older, like 17, but anyways, regardless. Yeah, I bowled 297 that day. I finished second, but I pulled up to the tournament in a headband and a skirt. I didn't bring a racket or anything. I think I also had like the sweat bands for the wrists too. Like I went all out for sure to finish second to a guy throwing it 30 feet from 7th arrow. Love you, Joey G, but fuck you for that still, man. He's got my number, dude. Yeah, Dick knows Joe Grondin. That fucking guy's got my number so badly, dude. God,
Joe Grondin's a legend.
if I finish third that day, Joe finishes second and wins 20 brackets when I won 15. That's just how it's gonna be. So I'm happy with my bowling, but Joe's just got me by one.
Man, it's weird how some people that happens, man. Some people just got your number.
Eric Hatchett in the chat. First time I lost a bet, I had to wear face paint the whole tournament, and then Duster beat me in the finals. That's true. He had the full-on Kiss mask, like he was wearing the full-on Gene Simmons, white face and all. And I fucking put the front 8 on him. I said, "You're not winning today, bud." He bowled 300 in the position round to take the 1 seed, and then that was it. So then I ran the ladder from the 2 seed.
I've actually thought about doing that, putting the black paint right here, like a football player or a baseball player. That'd be sick.
It'd be pretty cold. It'd be unique. You'd be the only one doing it. So if you want to stand out, then fuck yeah.
Yes, you would, Trevor.
Dude, I'm gonna rock it. I'm gonna right here.
My favorite, if we had a guy in juniors that, I think there was a Halloween event one day. So like a couple people wore like face paint or whatever. But then this guy just like kept wearing face paint to every tournament.
Eric, yeah, we won't name drop, but people know.
Yeah.
People know who he is. Yeah, he's a good dude. The face paint was unique. He stood out.
Face paint every tournament.
Was it like was he vibing with it, or were people vibing with it, or was it like people laughing at him?
No, people were vibing. Like it was. We were all juniors, so like. You know how the junior environment is, but like realistically, like he was a good dude. Didn't do anything wrong. He had a very unique style too. He threw it very goofy. So that amongst the face paint, like he was unique, and he won a couple times. So fuck, good for him.
So
gotta-
Dick, back to the
I gotta-
question originally. Most out of pocket thing that either you've seen, been a part of, whether it was on Pro Tour, could be an action match, league.
All right.
Anything in the bowling
all
alley.
right. So, besides this weekend, that guy wanted to fight me. Um. So we bowled a junior tournament in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Circle lanes. I believe Circle Bowl. I can't remember the name of it. There was it's like 16 lanes on each side, and I'm bowling scratch division, and they were hard. Like they were really, really, really hard. I remember throwing my red pearl hammer and going like 120 under and leading by a mile. And on Sunday when we came in, the handicappers were on one side and the scratch bowlers were on the other. And I'll never forget. And I mean, I'm already like 4 or 5-0. I'm winning my matches. I'm shooting 200 on Sunday morning. I'm just running guys over. And I mean, I've got to be in the lead by 300 or 400. The AC went out, and we're in the middle of summer, and the AC went out. The whole place immediately fogs up.
In Louisiana.
Yeah, kids are sticking and falling immediately.
Oh no.
And they stopped the tournament, and when they stopped the tournament, I'm trying to figure out how to slide still. Like I've taken a piece of paper and I've cut it out and I've like taped it to my sole just so I can slide somewhat. I'm gonna finish the tournament. I don't care if everybody sticks. We have to bowl on tennis shoes. I don't care. I'm gonna finish and I'm gonna win. And it was, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes or an hour, and they finally got it kicked back on. And we've been sitting there this whole time, and they're like, all right, we're going to continue the tournament. We're going to finish the day. And, like, people wanted practice. And they were like, it's got to be unanimous.
You guys haven't bowled. Oh,
I mean,
fuck.
there's 31 other people bowling, and they all voted for practice.
And you said no.
No. I mean, I'm so far in the lead, it's not even funny. They just wanted like 5 minutes of warm up.
Just to prove that you were the alpha.
Yeah, it was pretty bad times, man. Pretty dark. Pretty out of pocket.
That's up there, man. That's
Yeah, sure made some friends with that one.
Yeah. But it was alright. It was fun though. It lives in infamy still.
you won, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
no doubt. I mean, you're no stranger to making enemies realistically. Like you have some beef with one of the other podcasts I've heard. Is that correct, or are those just rumors?
Bro, like when you told me that it was Discord and I was gonna have to download an app, and like I was like, man, and I said this is gonna be my pleasure to download this app and go out of my way, skip my kids' dinner, like the whole 9 yards, just to make sure I show up and prove that guy wrong after he talked trash on Twitter about, oh, I hope he shows up. Like, bro, what are you, 12? Like, are you as old as the kids that you teach? What is this? So, I mean, they hate me because I agreed to be on their podcast, all right? And I'm bowling a regional. I think we were bowling in like Valdosta or wherever Jax is in Georgia, Trevor. That wood center, that brutal place with the nice bar. Anyways, whatever.
Either Valdosta or Albany. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's Valdosta. But anyways, when I drive home back here to South Carolina, like I'm taking like the backwoods, the back interstate roads, like I'm driving to these little tiny, I'm like waving to people on their porch while I'm doing 35 through their town. Like there's some places that I have zero reception. And I agreed to do this podcast, and I didn't know that when I was driving home, I was going to have like no reception. So I like got hosed on my reception, right? And like they've hated me ever since. So they're like, "All right, come on again." And I don't even know what happened the second time, but obviously I couldn't make it. But I keep wanting them to ask me on for a third time, so I could just not show up on purpose this time. Prove a point. But that ain't gonna happen.
Man, and I really thought that story was gonna have a happy ending. I mean, maybe
No,
that
it
is the
doesn't.
happy ending.
No, I mean I like their show. I watch it. I dig the show. I mean I don't mind either one of those guys. But man, they were like so butthurt, and they feel like that I did it on purpose. And then, like I was like, whoa. Like I'm not missing your show on purpose, man. Like things happen in life, and I'm sorry that it happened to your show, dude. My bad. Like, damn.
Yeah, those guys are
Go make
strong.
another
I mean,
Zombie Belmo account and get it over with.
There we go, Matt. The Zombie Belmo account. It's confirmed.
yeah.
So,
Zombie Belmo.
there's
Yeah,
a
that was
Zombie
Dick's
Dick
Twitter.
Allen account. Did you see that?
No, I have
Oh, I
not seen
did.
that.
I did see
There's
that.
a Zombie Dick Allen account. I guess
What?
their attempt was so bad that it didn't go very far. So
Yeah, that's interesting.
Zombie Belmo.
That ruffled some feathers.
All love,
you
by
should-
the
I
way.
gotta go on Twitter and check this.
you
Hold on.
should see all the evidence that we collected on like the data user and like where the app was or like where the tweet originated from on the whole Zombie Belmo account and who we cross-reference stuff with. And oh man, yeah, they didn't like the fact that I called it out for being Mike because that was pretty much the only person that it could be who also tweets from the like. It looked like it was somebody who has a 9-to-5 job and sits at a desk and goes to the app on the computer, not their phone. And like, who else is going to do that? The guy who sits at his computer all day and does the web stuff and teaches kids. We all know, dude. We get it. You was meant to bump up your show, and then it failed, and then you got called out on it, and then it got shut down, and then, oh man, you guys were the only ones pumping it. So those who scream the loudest, right?
Fuck. All love, by the way. I'm a big fan of Sweep the Rack. Rob Piershad,
So-
great dude. Love bowling with him. But
I think it's a great show.
yeah, maybe there's meant to be beef. I mean, who doesn't like a little controversy, you know?
I mean, we all need it.
You're a little bit of an instigator. I think we all have instigated
Yeah.
things a little bit once or twice.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Do you feel like the tour would succeed more, or it would draw more viewers with more drama like that?
No. I mean, this is where you need to save the receipt on this question and let me come back to it when I'm retired.
When you're retired, we'll have you back on the podcast and we'll reference it again.
So I can give you my honest answer on why I think that doesn't happen. So, because
Fair
I
enough.
can't, yeah, you know, I mean, I can't really voice my opinion in a way where I think something would succeed or fail without disparaging the organization that I stand up for. So,
Fair enough.
Don't worry, I'm actually retiring sometime next season for that reason, so we can take the podcast seriously. I'm gonna be the fall guy, so when I'm not paying them, I won't have to take it out of my checkbook. So I can say what I want.
understandable. Understandable.
Once we
But,
start the out of pocket tour, it's gonna be like live bowling, and we can.
Man.
we can
Yeah,
bowl.
low key, out of pocket X Trevor Roberts bowling.
Yeah, TBT times live.
Yeah, you know, if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, we're gonna give you X amount of money to come bowl these 10 tournaments a year, and that's it," like it would be if it was guaranteed money, man, it'd be hard to turn down. It would.
What's a number that would make you think about it?
Well, I mean, if you just if yeah, man, I mean, guaranteed money. I mean, if somebody come and say, "Hey, look, we'll give you $200,000 a year to leave the PBA Tour and come bowl our stuff only," I mean, that would be a pretty good deal, to
What
be honest with you.
what
I
about
mean,
if it were like 100 grand with the what Liv's doing, where there's no cuts and you're like guaranteed a check every time you bowl,
100 grand.
and guaranteed checks at like 8 to 10 stops a year.
I mean, crap, that's a good deal too, to be honest with you.
And
So,
if we are copying the Live model, we do go off of the team format too. So if we have 32 bowlers in the field, we can do 8 teams, pay out the teams too.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if we're having, are we following that path and we're not going to get to bowl majors because we don't get points?
No, if you can bowl the Masters and the U.S. Open, but you won't get to bowl the other ones if the PBA banishes you guys.
And I don't even know if I get to bowl the U.S. Open because you got to be in the top so many points for the tour, or be in college, or be in an alternate on Junior Team USA.
You'd still be one of the best in the world, but you'd have to bowl the PTQ.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta slum it up in the
Yeah, so I get to bowl 2 majors a year. 100 can. I mean, yeah, it'd be worth it probably, to be honest with you.
I think if we found a sponsor that gave us 10 million for 32 to 48 guys, we could fund like a Live tour kind of for like the middle of the pack guys that don't want to leave what they have with the PBA Tour.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
I don't think that's an unreasonable number, honestly, if we found the right investor.
yeah. I mean, and to be honest with you, I mean, it would, you give me something like that for, guaranteed for 4 years. Maybe if the money goes up, I get so much of that extra money too. Like, yeah, man, definitely. Like, I don't think it'd be that bad of a deal, to be honest with you.
And to be honest, I don't even think it has to be like a rival to the PBA Tour, just another way for bowlers to make their living. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, because in a sense, you think the top tier national staffers for their ball companies are respectively guaranteed money as well, because they're contracted, they get paid. So I don't think there should be anything wrong with the bowlers getting paid to bowl as well, like as a secondary form of income.
Yeah.
That's a guaranteed income. It's their job. They're professionals.
Yeah.
They've earned that right. They've grinded up to that level to earn the right. So I don't think anybody that's a professional should ever be losing, and I think most people agree with that.
Yo, so any more people in chat? Any more questions?
Mm.
So they're fighting behind me, and the one on my left shoulder is telling me, "Man, you've been doing this for 20 years. You're gonna be a sellout if you do that." And the other one is like, "Man, I could take that money and run." So like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to be a sellout.
But if it's putting food on your family's table for years to come, obviously we're not doing 250 mil like Live, but
Yeah.
700.
I mean, yeah.
Tiger.
If somebody came to me and said, "Hey, we'd like to pay you to bowl,
That'd be nice.
pay you more to bowl," yeah, I'd dig that.
to be honest, I would
It
go. Oh, no, go ahead.
It would suck if there weren't obviously pro-ams and some sort of you know, television to get on and to be able to show your skills off. But I mean, like, yeah, I guess when you're dealing with millions and millions and millions of dollars compared to 100,000, man, that's, it's like pinching pennies there. So like, I guess there would be no better option, I mean,
Right. But
so
I guess it's
yeah,
it's kind of a scale comparison if you compare what PBA Tour players make compared to what PGA Tour players make, and
yeah,
like the ratio of it, I guess.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
think
it needs
I
to be
think
relevant.
well, I think my thing though is as one of those fringe guys on the national tour that's really like struggling to cash weekly. I would go play like a live tour like that for zero. I would take one of those like spots where they say, "Hey, come play our tour to fill the spots while we're working on getting other guys in. Take your shot at a free check every week and see if you can pop one of these and make 300, 400 grand in one shot, even if they're not paying me to play." Like that's just one good
yeah,
week of bowling, life-changing money. You don't get that opportunity every week. On
yeah. That is 100% true right there. Because I mean, I don't think it is. It's hard to win out there.
Oh yeah.
It's hard.
shit, if it's hard to make a cut, I can only imagine how hard
Hard
it
to
is
cash.
to
Yeah,
fucking win.
it's there.
Yes, it is.
What makes it so tough in your eyes? For those that haven't bowled the tour stop and maybe have bowled a couple regionals or not even bowled the PBA event at all, what makes it so tough?
I mean, obviously the caliber of players you have. Anybody who's been around for the last 15 years, especially if they're one-handed, the meta's changed so much. The meta is all, two-handed and angle. So when you're already behind the eight ball in those terms, it makes it even harder. Um, and then you go to the other side of the scale, and dude, it's just all the little adjustments, you know, all the little adjustments, the mental games, the hula hoops you play with yourself versus your competitors, maintaining your ball reaction, being able to adjust off of every single person that's throwing shots that go down the lane. I mean, not making those mental mistakes, like what? Whenever I've won out there, if you go look at my record, the next week I've bowled like some of the worst weeks I've had out on tour. Like straight up. Like I'm so mentally exhausted. And you look back and you're like, I did every single thing right that week. There were zero missteps. So not only are you drained physically, you're drained mentally as well. So if you're not one of those guys who has effortless rev rate, you know, sends messengers, can easily throw the 7 or 8 bagger when needed, you know, when you can afford mistakes, yes, man, yeah, some of those guys like EJ, EJ makes a ton of mistakes when he bowls, and he just goes through life,
It
it's
just
like
throws
no
an
problem.
eight bagger. It's all good.
Yeah, it just rolls right off, with the next 8 bagger he throws, and it's sick to watch. It's awesome, but at the same time, he comes right back the next week and he just does it again, like. His mental exhaustion isn't anywhere near where his physical exhaustion is. Like maybe after 9 or 10 tournaments where he hasn't won, that mental frustration starts to build up a little bit. But for the most part, you've got to deal with the guy like that in top form who's happy go lucky every single week. And then on top of that, you have 10 two-handers who literally are the same way. There's just no skin off their back when anything bad happens. They always have ball reaction. They always have angle. And they've got good attitudes because nothing bad happens. So,
And then there's me.
yeah. So,
The knuckle dumper.
Yeah, no disagreement, because it's fuck.
yeah. I mean, Duster's right there. He's grinding every week. I mean, as soon as he stops making those mental missteps, or just like having those what the fuck moments for a game and a half, and he narrows those what the fuck moments down to 7 or 8 minutes. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Instead of punting off a whole game and a half, I only punt off a couple frames, then you right the ship.
Exactly. So, it's things like that like when you're already behind the 8 ball, though. Like, I mean, look at guys like Schlegel. That guy has like zero physical game whatsoever. That dude was just all mental 100% all the time. And you can imagine that, like, when he got hot mentally, well, I mean, the guy's ball does nothing. If you give that guy any sense that his ball's going to strike, well, it's probably going to strike, and he's going to have, because he's not going to get in trouble. No bad things are going to happen to him, no matter what's out there. So, like, you have to deal with somebody who's just mentally sharp every single tournament, and like, you wonder why it's hard to win out there. Like, if you've got a little bit of this and a little bit of that, well, it's good luck. It's probably not going to be enough all the time. You've got to be, really unique and capable of saying, you know what, I need to push my mom out of the way right now. I don't care if there's a hill right there. I just need to push her out of the way so I can get to the end of the line, because this is taking too long. So, like, you have to have that mental capacity to just be able to just stab someone, or, just the break from reality, because there are guys out there, they're just killers, man. They're just killers.
Dog eat dog world.
Yep.
I can speak to that. I crossed with EJ at the TOC this year. Got through the PTQ, crossed with EJ and Maldonado, and I think I worked so hard to miss the cut by 60, and they're bowling league for 24 games. Like, they had a ball reaction every game. They didn't talk about the moves once, but you could tell they were lining up off each other. By the 4th frame, they had a double up every time, with maybe an open, probably another double. And it was 230 every game. It's like, they are not this easy. How are you doing this every game? And then you look in every pair. Like, the top bowlers on that pair are doing that. It's tough. It's real tough to watch that happening.
Yes, it is. And, like, it's crazy, too, because, like, some of those things, they start to take a toll on you, whether you like it or not. Like you go to a pair, and you're just dumbfounded. You shoot 170, you got the two lanes are different from each other, and not only were the two lanes different from each other, the tight lane was tighter than any other lane you bowled on, and the hooked lane hooked more than any other lane you bowled on. And then you leave that pair after shooting a one open 173 with no doubles, and you're just scratching your head, and you go to your next pair, and you start a spare double, and you're like, well, this pair is fine. And you look back over to that pair, and that guy's got spare 4-bagger, he's got the front 5, and he's got double spare double. And you're like, do they not see a problem with that pair? Because that pair is terrible. They just went to they're playing them the same. And when you run into things like that, now, and then you walk up there and you 2-4-8-10 because you're all shitty about them bowling good on your bad pair. So, dude, it happens all the time, man. It's like you got to block stuff like that out. You have to be able to adjust quicker. And you're right. Just because guys aren't talking about the adjustments, they're still making them. And it's wild how, I mean, sometimes it just works out like that. And they go to the next pair and they all shoot 180, and you're like, How the fuck did that happen?
You're
This
like,
pair
damn,
is
these guys are
easy.
terrible.
Right? This pair is walled up. I just watched them all go to my pair, and they all shot 240, and I shot 170 on that pair, and they all come to this pair, and they're shooting 190, and I thought this pair was the berries. Like, yeah.
That's bowling in a nutshell.
Dude, it is. It's wild. I mean, I absolutely don't get it sometimes. And and that's part about being, mentally sharp. When you're mentally sharp, those things don't even bother you. You don't even notice those things, And some of those guys never ever notice those things.
Right. Real quick, since we're on the topic of winning, I have one last video I wanted to reference for everyone. Dick, you can't see it, but it's the Lubbock 2019 your win against Rash and what happened. Pretty dramatic, honestly. Kind of what you're talking about. Like, it's so hard to win. Like, you feel for Sean. Like, he worked so hard to get there, put himself in that spot. Like, you're a single pin away from winning the whole damn thing, and in literally 3 seconds, the entire tournament changes. And you're just there on the bench having to watch it, and you feel so bad for the guy, but you're like, fuck, alright, like, new life.
When I didn't strike in the ninth, I thought I lost.
Yeah.
When he struck it, and then he struck in the ninth and then left a 10 pin, I was like, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't looking at the score. I had to recheck the score. Like, wait a minute, I do have a chance.
Yeah, like, shit.
Like when you get to that level, when you bowl guys like Sean, certified Hall of Famer, player of the year, like bona fide, legit player, made guy. So like when you're bowling guys like that, it's a 4-footer. You expect that guy to make that putt and beat you on this hole. Plain and simple. So, sometimes you get that shock to the system, and and then I still feel like I should have lost. I only threw one of those shots good in the 10th. I mean,
we're watching that right now. I was gonna say, yeah, you sculled one out of the bunker and it hit the pin, bounced to 4 feet, and lipped in for the win.
Yeah, I mean, like the first one wasn't terrible. I just missed it a little bit at the bottom, and the second one I aced, and the third one, man, I crowbarred that one. Fingers are still in that shot.
Hold on.
Yeah, man, and honestly, like, you really do feel for Sean. Like, everyone's been there. Everyone's had a chance to close it out, and they give it away to an easy one. So.
Yep.
But at the same time, like, when it happens to you, you have no choice but to take advantage. And at that point, you almost feel like you have to. Like, it's almost like destiny. Like,
Yeah.
How often do you get that chance, ball in hand, double to win the tournament, and especially when you least expect it, it's almost house money at that point.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I love stepping up in the 10th with a chance to win, or to win a match, to win a game, to win the tournament, whatever. It doesn't bother me. If you don't want the ball in that position, you got a problem. So that's why I don't ever understand why guys always want to finish first. I don't get it.
You have the ASU philosophy.
Yeah.
I got that one actually, because that is one of our coaching philosophies. I've always looked at it as not that I don't want the ball, but I think my opponent doesn't want the ball more, and that giving them the ball, they're gonna choke it.
Oh, that's the dumbest thing you can do, man. Like, you want that thing, but I mean, I get it too, because I mean, a lot of guys, it's all about the pressure, and I mean, you can lock it up first and not give the other guy a chance, or you can put all the pressure on him, So I mean, it's just some people have trouble driving in the left lane, I mean, it all depends on your mindset, Like, if you're not going to freak out, then don't be afraid to have the ball when it's your turn. So
it's almost like you can control that. If you let yourself go last, you can control what happens. But if you let yourself go first, you can't control it. So
yeah,
you let the simulation decide.
Yep. That's how I always tell. That's like Weber. Weber did it. He always finished first, no matter what. Even if he didn't like the left lane, he would finish first. Like I never, I mean, I never understood it. I mean, if we were bowling on a pair that was so bad, and like you bowl in the right lane and it just went 60 feet and you couldn't get the 5 out, and the left lane was walled city, yeah, I'd probably choose to finish first at that point in time, But I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, if you're gonna give the option, like to me, it just says you're scared. So, I want to finish first. Well, okay. Don't let me have a chance.
Shut me out then,
So-
or else it's GG.
Yep. So I've done it to plenty of guys on TV where, I get a chance and they go home. What's up, baby girl?
Can't fall asleep.
You can't fall asleep.
Well, Dick, we can honestly let you go here soon. We're coming up here on about an hour 15.
Just try this.
She's gonna be up all night, brother.
That's the thumbnail for sure.
God damn.
All night too if Dick Allen lived in my house.
You'd be up listening to him play PUBG all night, dude. Player unknowns.
We're
Here's
almost
the
done.
thing about Dick is that we all know he's a legend on the lanes, but stuff that makes him the best is off the lanes.
100%.
Roll
100%.
call stuff, the pro
I
am
appreciate
stuff.
it, fellas.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So, I mean, we will let you get back to your family here. We're probably going to close things up here in a bit. We have a couple more questions from the chat. We'll end it on that. What's one of your favorite tour stories that you can tell? If you want to tell a bad one, it's all good. Just don't name drop. But whatever you want to, just one story, favorite.
Oh man, I don't drink that often. And went out for Doherty's birthday one year, and I got pretty hammered. I got pretty trapped, and jumped back and forth between the beds like a trampoline at one point, and like bounced off the bed, and hit the table in between. I got a nice little scar up here from that, and the bathroom was being occupied, and I had to throw up. And I spent a good 3 or 4 minutes trying to get it out of that little 4 to 3 inch crack in the hotel windows that don't open all the way. So, yeah, that was a pretty good one.
Shit, man.
Vanderhoff one year. Vanderhoff bowled bad one year, and from the hotel, we opened up the screen door out the back, and from about 20 feet inside the room, like near the front door, he took an approach and launched this ball out the screen door, over the balcony, over the bushes, and into the river. That was a pretty good one.
If it were a bowling lane, would he have thrown it to the pin deck?
No, because the ceiling, but no, it wouldn't have gone that far. So he was trying to make sure he didn't break anything. I bowled with Blaze Bedoya one year, and he threw it through the ceiling in practice.
On purpose or on
Intentionally?
accident?
Yeah.
He was on accident. I think my favorite bowling story with me though, as far as competing wise, I'll let you go on this one. Was my first one in Dallas, and I was bowling Walter in the round of 32, and Walter came out and he was throwing, like he pulled the ball out of his bag and he threw it on the left lane, and the first shot, like boom, like his thumb came out of the ball and like dust and like pieces of like just everywhere, all over the lane, like from 5 to 15 on the lane. And I mean, it looked like the vacuum cleaner exploded. on the lane. And he's kind of like flipping out now. And he's like, oh, what's going on? So, like, he calls Nick over. I can't remember Nick's last name. Anyways, Kegel guy. So we're sitting there and we're having the discussion, and he's like, "Yo, we can't bowl on this lane." Walter's complaining that we can't bowl on the lane because he dust everywhere. And Nick Hoagland, and Hoagland's
I was
like,
gonna
"Nah,
say it, but
sorry, yeah, sorry, you gotta. I mean, we've got a breakdown pair, but it's both of you guys have to agree to it, And I'm like, I'm not even playing there. Like, I was warming up, like up 5-10, throwing a different ball, like playing where Walter was, and I was like, I'm not even playing there. I don't want to move. It's not my fault that his ball threw dust everywhere, all over his line. And Hoagland's like, sorry, Walter. And I pulled out my ball and I moved like 20 left where I was going to start playing at like 22, 23 on the lane. And I just started hooking it and I went to town and I didn't have a problem with it. Oh, man, Walter was so naked. Like, dude, just so naked. Like, he was trying to do whatever he was trying to throw it over it on the left lane, play further right, move left and hook it. Like, he got clobbered.
I'm sure he was pretty happy about it too. I've heard he's a pretty level-headed guy.
Got clobbered. So yeah, that was one of my favorite bowling ones right there. I mean, I don't know, I'm old, man. I forget a lot of them. They come and they go. So
All right.
some of them I even make them.
Daddy, when you're done jibber jabbering, could you come upstairs and sit the note to me on paper?
You got it. All right,
Yeah, can you stop jibber
Jibber
jabbering?
jabber.
we're done now, kiddo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the best, kiddo.
Man, go take care of your family. Thanks for so much for coming on, dude.
No,
We
man.
really appreciate you. It was an honor to have you as our first guest, for real.
Anytime you guys are short on guests, you just give me a holler.
Sounds good. We got a couple episodes planned that we'll probably ring you in on. We're gonna
Anytime.
we're gonna hopefully touch on substances a little down the road, so we'll link up on that.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you again. If you checked out episode 5, we'll be on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, etc. We're going to be spreading the word. We hope you guys do too. Helps us out a lot. And thank you again. Have a great night. Peace.
See ya.
Appreciate it, man.